My name is Alison McKellar. I'm from Camden, Maine. I've been sort of casually reading basically whatever CNN posted about what was going on in Syria. After doing a few Google searches, I found this organization in New Hampshire that was taking everything from lightly used clothing to medical supplies to non-perishable food items and sending 40-foot shipping containers to Syria. I wrote to the woman who was in charge of it, and she immediately wrote back to me and said she'd be, very excited and they'd love to accept donations from high school students in Camden.
My name is Nadia Laura, and I'm the president and founder of NuDay Syria, which is an organization for Syria that's registered here in New Hampshire. These activists that we work with, they are amazing, and this is their choice. They want to help other people that have no means to move. And in 90% of the cases of the people we help, it is women and children. And many of the children are orphans, which means many of the women are widows. They really don't have anybody.
After exploring a few different donation drop-off places, how about we're just going to use my house? Everybody can drop things off at my house on the porch, and I'll try and find a way of storing it. One afternoon, I was with my husband at his job where he works at a yachting company called Yachting Solutions, and they had all these boats covered in this plastic shrink wrap. I mean, the boats are amazingly well protected. They make it through the Maine winter, and they have this beautiful dome that almost looks like a refugee tent that you might see. And I said, well, what do you guys do with that when you take it all off? And he said, oh, well, we just throw it away, or it gets recycled. And so I started to try and come up with prototypes for what the perfect shelter might be, and looked online and looked at greenhouses and different things and did all kinds of Google searches for cheapest possible winter greenhouse or different things like that, and found lots of designs, and then looked at different refugee tents and shelters that they were already making. And then I went to Home Depot and found, okay, well, how much is this pipe? How much does this cost? How much does this cost? And it seemed like one of the cheapest ways to do it is just to follow that basic hoop house model, where you take a PVC pipe and bend it over in a semicircle, and then drape the plastic over top of that in much the same way that somebody would make a greenhouse. And so I just started making those in my yard and taking pictures of them, and they've been sending some of the pictures of the shelters that I've created in my yard. I send them to the NuDay Syria people, and they pass those along to the activists that they're working with on the ground in Syria, so they sort of know what to do with, or know what some of the possibilities might be for the plastic once they get it. It's sort of become a fun little hobby for me, because I think, gosh, we have pretty much unlimited amounts of this material. Now, what if we could, not just be sending it, rolled up the way I'm doing it right now, but really sending full-blown kits so that people could create shelters sort of like I'm creating in my front yard, but, better even. And my husband asked me the other day at a moment when our yard was all full of plastic, and it ends up really looking like a refugee camp or a natural disaster site in the house or on the porch, or people were piling up jackets that they're donating, and then the shrink wrap, but it's just like it really looks like a disaster. And he said, so I'm not trying to pressure you, but I'm just curious, just so I can mentally prepare. How much longer are you going to be doing this? Is this like, until Syria is free, or, and I said, well, I guess, yeah, I'll keep doing it until, as long as it's so easy to do. All I have to do is just collect things, and as long as there's a way to get it to the people, and I have something to give, then I envision myself continuing to do it.